Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Gronk here. With high school officially being over for me, now I think it's the appropriate time to do like a reflection video on my experience in high school and what I think and what I've taken out of it, or like the implications of it on my life, basically. That's what I'm trying to say here. And I think it's just important that I share my experience with you guys because believe it or not, high school has actually changed my life to an extent that I never believed that it would. But this video is definitely going to be more on the serious side. Even some of my rants are, because I like to rant about things that I'm kind of passionate about. So this is one of those things that I'm a little bit passionate about. It's like a big part of my life, so obviously I'm passionate about it. So let's just fucking get right into this thing, okay? Enough of an intro. Going into high school, I was never that kid, you know what I mean? That was like, oh, on top, or always had like the most friends or this and that, right? And I still am not that kid that's like popular or has all the friends. But I've definitely come a long way from that start. And once again, I'm not trying to sound like a YouTube guru. I'm literally just giving my experience and my thoughts on high school. So please don't misconstrue the message of this video. Going into high school, I never thought that I'd amount to shit like all these athletes were and all that stuff. And I never really cared about that stuff to begin with. I always thought I was cool the way was fucking morbidly obese and, had like three friends going into it. But over time, I made more friends through, my amazing personality, obviously. But I made more friends, and it made me realize that, well, first of all, there's more than just being smart or book smart, because I used to value being smart like a lot, and I would always look onto these kids, like these athletes, and I just think, oh, like what dumbasses, like they're not good at school, so that's why they do sports and stuff. And that was literally my whole mentality going into it. And I'm so glad that like I'm not one of those like stuck up snobby kids anymore, because dude, that is completely the wrong mindset to have. And those are the fucking people that ruin it for everyone. I'm telling you that, because people that have certain like egotistical ways of thinking like that, it's just they're not good for the world, and they have a hard time sympathizing with others. This is not good people in general, and from what I can say. So during that time in high school, I used to hate sports, right? Even though I did try out for soccer, it was actually walk on, but like I lost my fucking cleats. That's a different story. I'm gonna tell that story at some point, so look forward to that one. But um, I was just never really athletic myself, so I always despised that part of school or whatever. But as I started growing up and making more friends, I made friends that were more outside of my general view of what my friends would be. Originally, I had friends that were very intelligent, and then I started moving on to people that were different, more like their traits were different than the rest of my other friends. So more funny people or less intelligent people per se. But it's not a bad thing, because ultimately what that helped me do is discover who I was, quote unquote. And I'm still trying to figure out who I am. Obviously, like anybody else would, I imagine, but um I'm definitely more of who I am today than I was then. Okay. Now, if you ask me, oh, would you ever imagine that you would be here at this point, like when you were in eighth grade? I would probably say hell no, because this is completely. I am probably the culmination of what I hated in eighth grade. So moving on into ninth grade, this is really where things like took a turn for the best, I'd say, in my opinion. And I had a friend. He told me to start playing football, and one of my guidance counselors said the same thing. And long story short, after a lot of convincing of my parents, I ended up playing football. Okay, and I ended up being very good friends with this guy. And unfortunately, we'll talk about this later, but our friendship came to a demise, but I still love the guy. So if you're watching this video, fucking love you. Okay, we're still friends. If you ever want to fucking, be friends again, definitely hit my line. But he took me into it, and once again, I told you guys, like, I fucking hated everyone that did sports and stuff. And this guy was one of the friends that I made in like eighth to like ninth grade. So he took me under his wing as kind of like his apprentice, quote unquote, and he taught me a lot of shit about football. And going into football, I was fucking terrible. I have a lot of stories from that season. And ninth and 10th grade football were probably my most memorable years of my life to this point. The fucking great times, whole lot of stories coming from there, but that's for another time. Moving on with my reflection, um, He took me under his wing. He taught me a lot of things about football that I never knew, and I came to love the sport that I used to hate before. And it was because I didn't understand it. I mean, I still didn't have a fucking understanding of what it was or like the basic concepts because it was still so new to it. But I really like developed a passion for it, and I wanted to improve. And on top of that, we had coaches that were like. They were bittersweet, but I fucking loved this guy because he was such a dickhead and he pushed me and I really pushed myself. And ninth grade football really showed me that like I wasn't shit. You know what I mean? That whole egotistical point of view where I was like, oh, like I was so stuck up and snobby and like, oh, these kids are retarded. Like they really put me in my place when I got knocked on my ass. And it really opened my eyes that well, there's different people and people are good at different things. And that's what makes it special. Not everyone has to be a specific way. And I met a lot of great people. We're done with ninth grade now. So ninth grade was just the introduction. Going into tenth grade was more the season where I was starting to like understand that I had potential for myself, and you know this is when our football team was never the greatest at this time. Ninth grade we won like 3 games I think, and then tenth grade we only had one win that whole season. So that gives you kind of an idea of like how good we were. And I actually ended up being a starter that season, which was great, right? And I remember working my ass off that season. And that season was fucking great, okay? Because ninth to 10th grade was when I started the meme page, right? And this is really where like things started to kick off. Because I started making memes about the team, and then the team fucking loved that. And then just the camaraderie in the locker room was just something so different. It was like it was such a vivid experience that I still remember to this day. It's like my first time being in the locker room was like, shit, dude, like I fucking belong here. Like this is like what I've been missing out on, you know? And even though it's over now, that feeling of belonging at the same time while feeling so uncomfortable with how like fucking rowdy these guys were initially was just so great. It was such a good experience. It was like, fuck man, like this is really what I was missing out on. And just being a part of something so great, in my opinion, being a part of a team, being a part of such a diverse group of people from such different backgrounds is just amazing to me. It's when different people come together and the culmination of that is just it's a beautiful experience. The whole team came to love the meme page, and I think the greatest part about it was that I was able to be this guy who was like really skinny at the time, basically like skin and bones. And I was able to make fun of like some of the greatest guys on our team. Like I could have made fun of anybody on a meme and they would laugh and we'd all joke about it, right? And everybody was saying like, yo, like this guy's funny as fuck. And that was like one of the greatest things that really made the whole football experience so good. It was that whole feeling that I belonged because I fit in so well. Like it was like a puzzle piece. Because although I was like an outsider, quote unquote, I was new to this, and like although everybody clowned on me, it was just such a good experience that like it was like I almost was a part of the puzzle. It was like I was the missing link. It was kind of like that, and then obviously what like moving on into like 10th, 11th, even this year, it's like I've met so many new people through the page and just through me being a clown at school. Like moving into 11th grade, I started doing retarded shit. Like I'd see like little kids in the hallway and I'd like go sun them and I'd be like, yo, what's up, my man? Like to random kids. And then I just start talking to them and then they fucking came to like find out about the meme page, and then so many people saw me as a clown and met me through that way. But now, like, they've all followed the page, and it's just not about the page. It's just about bringing the school together, and it's crazy because you would think that the quiet kid in fucking seventh and eighth grade would turn into this guy who was, I don't want to say an icon, but someone that people can kind of come behind as like, shit, dude, like this guy's funny as fuck, and he brought so many people together, and like I still consider myself as like the guy to do it. You know what I mean? Because nobody, as far as I can tell, has done this before in the school. Like even now they try to do all these like pages and shit, like these like the school page or like the pride club for the school. And even that just doesn't amount to what I started. You know, and that's really what just comes down as one of like the marks that I'm gonna leave, and I hope I leave a mark as far as I'm concerned. Because it's not about the ego. It's not about that. It's just what what am I leaving behind as like my legacy, quote unquote. And I hope that these kids remember me and they think like, shit, dog, like this guy was funny as fuck. Because there's still some seniors that graduated, and I think about them once in a while, and like the shit that they used to do in the locker room. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, I wonder what he's doing today, you know? And I hope that's what I hope it goes the same for those kids in like eighth to fucking 10th grade, because seventh grade is a little too young to be fucking with those kids, messing around with them and shit. But like once you get to eighth grade, it's like, it's better to get them to like start there. But it's just I've had such a great experience, and doing sports, going out of my comfort zone, doing things differently, meeting new people, seeing different points of view was just one of the greatest decisions that I could have made, because really what that turned out to be is who I am now, and the personality that you guys see on this channel and the person that I've amounted to is really the the outcome of what high school has brought to me. And this leads me into my next point, which is just talking about the implications, you know? And a lot of people are very disheartened by like the fact that school is closed now, and officially it's closed because, that's what they announced. And it's like a lot of people are overreacting. They're saying, "Oh, like where's my senior year? Like where to go? This and that." But I think like every all good things have to come to an end. You know what I mean? Like you've definitely heard that saying before. And it's not to say that more good things are coming in the future, because for sure, I've got my whole fucking life ahead of me. And as things happen, I'm sure you guys will hear about them as long as I continue doing this, because I plan on going forward with this channel. And uh you guys will hear more from me, obviously. But like it's just that some people are thinking like this is the end of it. And once they announced that, I was feeling like very strong emotions that were like that. But then I rationalized and I thought about it, and I really sat down and I thought like, well, I've gotten so much out of this from so many people that there has to be a reason that this has to end. And the reason is because those people were there at that time to help me develop as a person, but they're no longer there in my life anymore, if that makes any sense. Because there's a little bit of beauty in the sadness that this is all ending, The beauty is that these people were there at the right time, in the right place, for me to develop as a person and become better. But looking back on it, they were there for such a short amount of time that in the grand scheme of things, it's insignificant. So that's where the bittersweet kind of portion comes from. But at the end of it, when I look back and I think about those times, and I I just can't help but feel nostalgic, because those experiences have literally shaped me as a person. Like, getting knocked down on the field like 20 million times when I weighed like 100 pounds, like that feeling is literally what it feels like to be like dog shit. And then rising up from that and like, you know, getting most improved player in like 10th grade, or just fucking being a starter in 10th grade, regardless of how good our team was. It just really gave me that self confidence. It just showed me what my potential was. Like high school has really been great. I've met a lot of people, and I hope those people remember me, and I'll definitely remember some of those people. But what it comes down to is what you get out of it. And I've gotten a lot out of high school. I'll tell you that much. What I didn't get out of it, a good education. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But like, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, uh, I came here and I've literally improved as a person rather than doing what I actually had to do. And I'm sorry to the education system that wants to just feed us information all the time and just make us machines to work later on in our lives. But look, man, I came and I did what I had to do, and I'm out now. I've got a few months till I graduate officially. Then I'm out of this hoe, you know? And yeah, for all those underclassmen, anybody watching this video, thank you for all the memories, because that is definitely what I'm trying to say here. Because though they're definitely irreplaceable. By all means, there's no way I'm forgetting all that shit. And no sob shit, okay? Because you guys saw my senior 2020 rant video. You guys know I'm not like that. So this is more of like an actual reason to be quote unquote sad about the whole situation. Because some of these girls in my fucking grade, they're just overreacting, man. It's just fucking, it's obnoxious. God. All right, guys, we're gonna. No, we're not ending the video on that note. We're gonna end the video on the note that fucking high school was great. Okay, guys, if you made it to the end of the video, props to you, man. Fucking props to you. Okay, peace out.